Hi, my name is Laura Kirshner and I'm with the Army Resilience Directorate. Today, I want to talk to you about mindfulness. What is mindfulness? Simply put, mindfulness is our ability to stay in the present moment, to be aware of what we're doing, how we're feeling, what we're thinking, moment to moment. Mindfulness may be a little bit different than other regulation strategies that you've tried or heard about in the past. Let's use a metaphor. If we think of our mind as a river, thoughts and emotions that we experience throughout the day, think of them as pieces of debris flowing down the river. In a more active approach, we might actually take those pieces of debris, try and grab them out of the river, look at them, evaluate them, decide, is this thought helpful for me or not? Is this emotion working for me or not? And then potentially put strategies in place to try and change our thoughts and emotions, to try and stop some thoughts and emotions. However, the mindfulness approach is a little bit different. Using the same example, if we experience thoughts that aren't working for us, emotions that don't feel great, instead of trying to evaluate the thoughts and judge them, we just simply notice that we're having them. We simply watch the debris flow down the river. We observe the thoughts and emotions as they occur, and then we continue on in the present moment. We accept that experiencing some counterproductive thoughts or emotions are a part of our daily experience. And so mindfulness can sound pretty simple, right? Just stay in the present moment. But it is not easy. Jon Kabat-Zinn says that a lot. Simple, but not easy. And here's what I mean by that. It's really easy for our minds to start reflecting on the past, things that happened earlier in our day, maybe an argument we had with a spouse, something that didn't go well the previous day, a bad workout, and thinking about what we did wrong. Or our minds can wander into the future. Think about what tomorrow might look like. Think about how long we're going to have to be working out at home and what that means for the ACFT coming up in 2 to 3 months. Am I going to be ready? Our minds just tend to drift other places than what we're actually doing in the moment. And research by Matt Killingsworth suggests that sometimes, up to 47% of the time, our mind wanders to something different than what we're doing in the present moment. So, it sounds simple, but it's actually really, really difficult for us to keep our minds in the present moment. So I want to talk to you about a couple strategies to help you cultivate a more mindful approach, because it can be a really effective way to deal with emotion regulation and thought regulation over the long term, especially when we're in difficult and uncertain times. So, the first step of cultivating a more mindful approach is to become more self-aware. Notice when your mind is somewhere different than what you're doing in the present moment. So when you're brushing your teeth, is your mind present with you, brushing your teeth, or is it starting to wander? Or when you're doing a run, or when you're doing your at-home workout during this time, is your mind present with you in that workout, or is it starting to go somewhere else? Or when you're cooking, watching TV, you name it, any activity, you can start to check in and notice if your mind is present or not. The second phase of developing a more mindful approach is actually using strategies to redirect your attention back to the present moment. And I'm going to talk about a few different strategies. The first can be a thought log. So, let's say you notice that you're having certain trains of thought that make it really difficult for you to stay in the present moment. Maybe you just start to journal what those thoughts are so you can increase your awareness of what thoughts get you off track, what thoughts get you out of the present moment. Get them down on paper, and then return back to what you're doing, both physically and mentally. The second approach you can try is a body scan, where you just deliberately check in with your body, head to toe. Notice where you're experiencing tension. Notice where you're breathing. Are you breathing into your chest, your belly? Are they shallow breaths? Are they deep breaths? Notice how the ground feels beneath your feet. Another strategy that you can try is a grounding technique. And I'm going to talk about a specific 3x3 exercise. So, in this technique, you might notice that your mind is wandering, and you specifically redirect your attention to the present moment by observing 3 things that you can feel in that moment. So maybe you can feel the way the carpet feels beneath your feet. Maybe you can feel a cool air flowing through the room through an open window. 3 things in that moment that you can physically feel. The second thing you want to do is name 3 things that you can see. Look around your environment, observe your present moment, and just try and name 3 specific things that you can see in that moment. And then lastly, name 3 things that you can hear. Maybe you can hear the rain outside. Maybe you can hear your kids in the other room. Maybe you can hear the sound of the air conditioning or the heat kicking on in your house. But you're purposely trying to get your attention back to your present moment, back to your environment. So you can try any of these strategies, and the first step is really to just start to notice when you're not in the present moment, and then use one of the strategies we discussed to redirect your attention back to the now. And this is a skill, so it might be difficult at first, and beware not to judge yourself if you're struggling with staying in the present moment. It is very common for our minds to wander, as we discussed. Just start trying to implement some of these daily strategies. Be present when you're brushing your teeth. And there's a lot of research that suggests the more present we can be, the happier and more productive we are. So, feel free to visit us on social media until the next video, on Facebook or Twitter, /Army Resilience. Have a great day.